Welcome to the first episode of my new podcast, The Sad Catholic Show. I need to start by thanking Smanderson Ranch for supporting this endeavor and letting me record in Studio E here at Smanderson Ranch in Blanchard, Idaho. If you hear animals in the background at any point, please know that no animals were harmed in the making of this podcast. If you like this show, please show Smanderson Ranch some love by visiting www.smandersonranch.com and buying all of the Catholic custom culture shirts and accessories that you never knew you needed until now. They design quite possibly the greatest items in the world. The Smandersons are a devout religious family, raising kids, grandkids, and critters in Blanchard, Idaho. They started designing Christian shirts in 2002 under the name Fig Production and still enjoy creating outstanding designs today as Smanderson Ranch. Smanderson Ranch is a real ranch with real animals in Blanchard, Idaho, USA. They raise dairy goats, meat goats, chickens, ducks, and the cutest Rex rabbits ever. Their goal, and my goal, is to share our Catholic Christian faith with the world around us. You guys, we can literally wear our faith on our sleeve like these folks do at Smanderson Ranch through their incredible designs. Find them on YouTube and all social media channels at SM Anderson Ranch and visit www.smandersonranch.com to support our efforts. The first question that most people probably want to ask me is about the name of this new show. Why would I call it The Sad Catholic Show? Well, it's not because I am depressed, no matter what you hear in my voice. The real reason for using the name The Sad Catholic Show is because this is my show, and my parents gave me the name Sadoth Catholic Bowden. Though, having already existed for 9 months on the day of my birth, I didn't get to have any input as to what they named me. They wanted to give me the name of a strong leader, a Catholic saint that was faithful all the way through martyrdom, preferably one that attended the Council of Nicaea. They landed on Sadoth, and to drive the point home, they gave me the middle name Catholic. Sadoth was a martyr who was put to death with 128 fellow Christians in Persia and attended the Council of Nicaea in 325. He was head of the Christian community during the severe persecution of the church in Persia under the Sassanid Persian ruler Shapur II. Arrested with many other believers, Sadoth and 8 of his followers were cruelly imprisoned at Beilapat and tortured prior to execution. Sadoth was beheaded and was a man, which I am not, but that didn't stop them. Growing up with the name Sadoth wasn't the best. I tried to go by Sadie, but I have a family that doesn't really use nicknames. We were given the names that we have for a reason. Sadoth became SAD for short, literally making me Sad Catholic. My plan for this show is to be a short-form podcast, talking about saints, faith formation, church news, and whatever else I feel like talking about. The biggest news in the church right now has to be the health of the Bishop of Rome, the successor of St. Peter, our Holy Father, Pope Francis. If you haven't followed the news lately, you may be shocked that many headlines around the globe today say things like, Pope Francis in critical condition with early kidney failure, but remains alert as prayers pour in. Here's the story from the Pope Francis remained in critical condition Sunday, and blood tests showed early kidney failure, but he remains alert, responsive, and attended Mass, the Vatican said, as the 88-year-old pontiff battles pneumonia and a complex lung infection. In a late update, the Vatican said Francis hadn't had any more respiratory crises since Saturday night, but was still receiving high flows of supplemental oxygen. Some blood tests showed initial mild kidney failure, but doctors said it was under control. The complexity of the clinical picture and the necessary wait for drug therapies to provide some feedback dictate that the prognosis remains guarded, Francis's doctors concluded. Prayers for Francis, meanwhile, poured in from around the world, from his native Argentina to the seat of Sunni Islam in Cairo to school children in Rome. In New York, Cardinal Timothy Dolan admitted what church leaders in Rome weren't saying publicly, that the Catholic faithful were united at the bedside of a dying father. As our Holy Father, Pope Francis, is in very, very fragile health and probably close to death, Dolan said in his homily from the pulpit of St. Patrick's Cathedral, though he later told reporters he hoped and prayed that Francis would bounce back. Doctors have said Francis's condition is touch and go, given his age, fragility, and pre-existing lung disease. His condition has revived speculation about what might happen if he becomes unconscious or otherwise incapacitated, and whether he might resign. Francis was supposed to celebrate Mass on Sunday morning in St. Peter's Basilica and ordain deacons as part of the Vatican's year-long Holy Year commemoration. The organizer of the Holy Year, Archbishop Rino Fisichella, celebrated the Mass in his place and offered a special prayer for Francis from the altar before delivering the homily the Pope had prepared. Even though he is in a hospital bed, we feel Pope Francis close to us. We feel him present among us, Fisichella told the hundreds of white-robed deacons. A pre-written message that had been prepared for Francis to read Sunday, but he did not deliver, said he was confidently continuing my hospitalization at the Gemelli Hospital, carrying on with the necessary treatment, and rest is also part of the therapy. The message asked for prayers for him, as he always asks, and noted the upcoming anniversary of Russia's invasion of Ukraine, a painful and shameful occasion for the whole of humanity. Meanwhile, in Francis's native Argentina, Catholics prayed for the Pope at the Buenos Aires Cathedral, and the city's iconic obelisk was lit up, "Francis, the city prays for you." In Cairo, the Grand Imam of Al-Azhar, the seat of Sunni learning who forged a close bond with Francis, wished him well. "I pray to Allah to grant my dear brother Pope Francis a swift recovery and to bless him with good health and well-being so that he may continue his journey in serving humanity," Sheikh Ahmed Al-Tayeb wrote in a Facebook post. The American Jewish Committee also offered prayers. "We stand together with our Catholic brothers and sisters during this challenging time," the group wrote on X. And school children from around Rome deluged the Gemelli Hospital with get-well cards, while Italian bishops led rosary prayers and celebrated special masses across Italy. Doctors have warned that the main threat facing Francis is sepsis, a serious infection of the blood that can occur as a complication of pneumonia. To date, there has been no reference to any onset of sepsis in the medical updates provided by the Vatican, including on Sunday. On Saturday, Francis developed a low platelet count, which remained low but stable Sunday. Platelets are cell-like fragments that circulate in the blood that help form blood clots to stop bleeding or help wounds heal. Low platelet counts can be caused by a number of things, including side effects from medicines or infections. Francis also developed anemia and, during blood transfusions Saturday, was given hematin, a treatment designed to increase the level of hemoglobin in his blood, which in turn helps the blood carry more oxygen. Doctors reported Sunday that the therapy had been beneficial. Francis, who has chronic lung disease and is prone to bronchitis in winter, was admitted to Gemelli Hospital on February 14 after a week-long bout of bronchitis worsened. Doctors first diagnosed the complex viral, bacterial, and fungal respiratory tract infection, and then the onset of pneumonia in both lungs. They prescribed absolute rest and a combination of cortisone and antibiotics, along with supplemental oxygen when he needs it. End story. Please pray for our Holy Father, Pope Francis. That's a lot to take in. I'm calling it a day. I'll leave you with this quote by Pope Francis. "Let us learn to live with kindness, to love everyone, even when they do not love us." End quote. Be kind to others. Be happy. I'm the only one around here allowed to be a sad Catholic. And remember to visit www.mandersonranch.com. Until next time,